Page 49. We're talking about common verbs followed by infinitives or gerunds. Okay? Now the interesting thing about this chart is we add some complexity or difficulty to this conversation because there's two different kinds of verbs. Okay? And they may not affect the meaning. Okay? Going from infinitive to gerund, it doesn't affect the meaning. Or it could. It just got crazy in here.
The problem
all right?
is when you change the meaning.
I know. And it's ridiculous. All right? I hate it myself. Don't hit me. I didn't invent the language. But literally it changes the meaning. If I use an infinitive with this word, it means one thing. If I use a gerund after this verb, it means another thing. Okay? So these are tricky little boogers. I call them boogers. Okay? They're troublemakers. So you need to for sure learn these and how they work and the meaning. Okay? Let's jump up here a second. The first category, there's no difference in meaning. Okay? These are nice. So look at the word begin, for example. It began to rain. There's your infinitive. Okay? Here's your verb began. Come over here. It began raining. There's your gerund. It means the same thing, no different. You okay? Now, can somebody make a sentence with like? Go ahead, Abdullah.
I like to eat kebab.
Yes! I like to eat kebab. Now give it to me with a gerund.
I like eating kebab.
Praise God, yes.
Oh,
good job.
excellent.
All right. All right. Everybody, take 4 or 5 minutes, and I want you to take 2 of these, any 2, okay, and write a sentence in your book, giving me both the infinitive and the gerund form. Make your own sentence. Then I want to hear what you put down. I love to be, interesting. So you use to be. I love to be helped by the teacher. I love being helped by the teacher. Same meaning. Yeah, nice. I like that. And okay, anybody else have anything unique you want to ask? Yeah.
Why cannot I say I forget to watch?
I forget.
To watch.
Well, listen, remember the rule. The infinitive form is always the base form. So you watch. You can say that.
I forget to watch.
I forget to watch.
To watch. To see. To look.
Yeah, you can listen. You can. You can say I forget to watch TV in the evening. I forget watching TV in the evening. You can, but we're going to see in a second how it changes the meaning of the sentence when you use these words. Okay? It means one thing with the infinitive and another thing with the gerund. So you can, but just be careful that it's saying what you want it to say. Does that make sense? All right, so let's look at the first example. So these are special verbs, okay? Only 5? Yeah, they only give you 5. Okay. So look at this example. Hassan always remembers to lock the door. Okay? Well, that means he doesn't forget. He always remembers, okay? I like the little definition. So remember plus the infinitive equals to remember to perform a responsibility, a duty, or a task. So it's his job to remember, right, when to lock the door at night. That's his job. So it's his duty. So we use the infinitive.
Josh, if I change the meaning, you will understand?
Yeah, probably. Depending on the context, whatever you said before or after, I'm going to know what you meant. Maybe. But you could run into an interesting problem if you say something the wrong wrong way, someone might take it the wrong way, right? It just depends on what you said before and after it, the context. So it is important because it does. It changes the meaning. It's like idioms, phrasal verbs, okay? Yeah, it changes the meaning of the verb just by adding that preposition on. It's kind of the same thing. By switching it to either an infinitive after, and the verb is important. With the word remember, the verb remember with the infinitive, it talks about performing a task or a duty. Okay, so let's can anybody give me another one? You can use a different name. Hassan always remembers, or Satya remembers, or always remembers to take his vitamins. Remembers to take his vitamins in the morning. Okay, that means that he always remembers, he never forgets to perform that task or that duty. Does that make sense? Yeah.
If I say, remember locking the door, the meaning.
Let's look down here. It does. So now, Hassan remembers seeing his keys on the table yesterday. So in this situation, it's not about performing a duty. It means at some point in the past, he forgot about something. Right? He remembered seeing them someplace in the past. Does that make sense? So, again, I like their definition. Remember plus a gerund equals remember or recall. Okay? Something that happened in the past or didn't happen in the past. In this situation, he remembers, he recalls seeing the keys on the table. It has nothing to do with performing a task. It's all about remembering something, recalling something from the past. So can anybody give me an example sentence using the gerund and remember? What do you got for me?
Again?
Can you give me this type of a sentence? Everybody write it down. Everybody give me one example to share with the class. Okay, and it's about remembering something from the past. Okay? Write it down. I want you to write your example down and then share it with me.
In the past?
Yeah. It automatically is going to be about something, to recall something from the past.
I read that because it's funny.
Can I use I am remembering? Can I use remembering?
Hey, be careful with these. It works best if you leave the verb in the simple present.
Teacher.
Okay, because you're talking about right now something you recall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I will remember the first day I come here in ELS.
I will remember.
No,
Or I remember.
I am.
I am remembering
But it's the
coming to ELS. So what that picture in my mind is you sitting in the park and I walk by. And I say, what are you doing, man? Oh, I'm just sitting here. I am remembering
I remember
coming to ELS.
Just talking the front.
So yes, you can do it, and even under the right situation, that'd be kind of strange, wouldn't it? To find you sitting in the park doing this. Yeah. So you can. There's nothing wrong with it, but listen, it makes more sense to leave this in the simple present. Okay. So Thomas remembers coming to ELS. 3 months ago. That would sound nice. And it just means you recall the memory. It doesn't mean you're doing it right now.
Oh, I remember.
Okay, so you want to say Thomas could remember coming Yeah, maybe if you're sick and you're losing your mind, right? Because when you say could, it means possibility. So maybe you're in the hospital, right? And you have Alzheimer's, you're getting old, you're in your 80s. And I ask a buddy, hey, do you think Thomas still remembers when he was at ELS? And then I might reply, I think Thomas could remember. He's going a little crazy, cuckoo. But I think he could remember coming to ELS. Maybe. He's really losing it. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you start adding stuff, you can. It's not wrong. Just realize when you start adding stuff or changing the verb tense, it means something. You understand? So, you can, just be careful.
You understand? I remember how to blame this game.
I remember... No, you can't throw how in there.
Yeah, because
It needs to be followed by the gerund. I remember playing this game when I was a kid. And all it is you having... it's a memory about the past. Okay? Yeah.
I remember practicing root
Yeah.
when I bought the first one.
Yeah. Perfect. Say it out loud. Say it again.
I remember practicing root when I bought the first one.
Great. I remember practicing the ode when I bought my first one. Yeah, what do you have?
Can I say, I remember me being a shy child?
I remember...
Me.
You can with that one. You could put the pronoun there. I remember me being a child.
A shy child.
You could say that. Or you could just say, I remember being a child. It was a wonderful experience.
What about
But you can't, yes. What do you have?
you remember me? When
Ooh, you go to the question. Do you remember going to the movies when we were in high school? Man, those were good times. Yeah. It was so much fun. Yeah.
He remembers like as a was or where. Like he was like.
Listen, remember is your brain, right? It's your brain thinking about something.
Yeah, but it's as a say like Hassan was.
Here?
Yeah, the second one.
Okay. Hassan always remembers to lock. That means he never forgets in his mind to do something, a task, when you use the infinitive. Down here, remembers, you're remembering some memory of the past. You're recalling. They're both present. This is present, this is present. Okay? But this, you're remembering presently to lock something or to do a task. All right? Anytime. It's just a fact. Okay?
So the second one just about the memory.
Yeah. This one's all about memories in the past that you're recalling. These are all about remembering to do a duty or a task. That's the thing to remember, okay? So that's remember. Let's look. Did anybody else have a sentence they want to share? What do you got?
While I was watching TV, I was remembering joking with him.
Nice. While I was watching TV, I remembered.
No, I was remembering.
I
remembering?
I was remembering. What did you remember? I was remembering
Joking with him.
talking with him. So you're sitting there watching TV. Yeah, you got it.
But it's present continuous, right?
So he's doing something presently while he created a complex sentence. While I was watching TV, that's the dependent clause. It's an adverb clause on the front. While I was watching TV, comma, I was remembering. So they're both in the past. I was remembering talking to him or my friend. Yeah, you can do that. Under a special situation, yeah. Everybody okay?
Yeah.
This is the key thing. Whenever remember is followed by an infinitive, it's about performing a duty. Okay? Down here, when it's followed by a gerund, it means remembering a memory. Recalling something. Everybody okay? Okay, cool. Are you okay?
Yes.
Claus, are you okay? Okay.
Yep.
Forget. Hey, check this one out. This is interesting. Look at E. Sam often, I'm back in the book, page 49. Sam often forgets to lock the door. So in that situation, forget plus the infinitive equals forget to perform a responsibility. Yeah, it's the opposite of remembers to lock. There, he remembers to do it. Forget to lock. So when you use forget plus the infinitive, it's the opposite. He didn't remember. He forgot. You okay? So those are kind of nice. They're similar, it's just the opposite. But it has the same idea.
Different verbs.
Yep, different verbs. But the same idea, just the opposite. Okay? Now if I say, look at G. I will never forget seeing the Alps for the first time. Well, it's the same idea when you use remember plus the gerund, only the opposite. Alright? I'll never forget. So if I say never forget, am I going to forget or am I going to remember? Whoa. Oh, man. Good catch. Good catch. You saved him at least $2,000. That setup's worth $2,000.
How many?
Yeah. And that's a bargain. Alright, look at G. I will never forget. So if I say never forget, does that mean I'll remember or I'll forget? I will remember. See that? I will never forget seeing the Alps for the first time. So it's about recalling something in the past. You okay? Great. Okay. Now look at the bottom. And listen, each one of these has a different meaning. Okay, when you put them in a sentence. And we can't go over all of them. For sure, go over these in the back of the book. Okay, look at the examples, look at the meanings, because these are the ones just for this class that I'm going to choose to put on tests. Does that make sense? Should you learn the others? Yes. And will they be on the final exam? Maybe. Only the Lord knows what ELS puts on the final exam, but they could be.
Confirm that information for me, Josh.
So what I'm confirming with you is...
No, about the final exam.
The final exam is going to ask you questions using this material. And they may ask you... So on the final exam, they may ask you something from the back. Could be a question about the grammar on this from the back. Like they might use one of these words, even from the back, and then ask you what the meaning is of the sentence and give you 4 choices. Okay? So all I'm telling you is, for my class on my next test, I'm not going to do that to you because I'm not crazy. Okay? And I don't want to hurt you unnecessarily. Okay? I'm going to pick from these words to test you on my test. I'm just warning you that you need to study the rest. Okay? Unless you like to gamble. You know what gambling is? Yeah. Gambling is when you go to the casino. Lucky 7! And you just roll the dice and you pray. If you like doing that, then don't study. That's what I'm saying. All right. Okay, turn the page. Let's look at a few more. Yeah.
I will never forget studying in
Yeah. Yeah, and that means it means you love that time, and you'll always remember it. Let's turn the page. There are examples for each of these on the next page, and let's look at the meaning real quick. So, look at H and I. I regret to tell you that you failed the test. So regret plus the infinitive means I hate to have to tell you this. Right? I feel bad that I have to tell you this.
Regret meaning sorry.
Yeah, I feel bad, regret,
That's what
that I have to say something to you. So maybe you had a bad day and you did poorly on the test, and I say, I regret to tell you that you didn't do well. I feel bad that I have to tell you. Now, look at I. I regret lending him some money. He never paid me back. So that's a little different. It's not about I feel bad anymore. It's more about, look at the definition. Regret something that happened in the past. I wished I hadn't done it. I wished I didn't lend him the money. That's what it means. I still feel bad about it, but it's about the past. You see that? So when I use the gerund again, it throws the idea into the past. You okay?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
How can I say negative statement with the regret?
Just say, I do not regret. I do not regret lending him the money.
I regret not to do. Can I say not to do or don't?
I regret, let's see, so if we want to go negative, you could say, I regret not lending. So I guess there's two ways you could do it. You could say, I regret not lending him some money. If I say that, though, with a gerund, did I lend him the money or not? No. I didn't, but it's still about the past. I feel bad about the past because I didn't give him the money. Now, if I say, with the infinitive, though, with the infinitive, how do you make it negative? Look at H. No. Don't stick the negative there. And then you don't want to say, I regret not to tell you. You have to put it up front with a helping verb, like, I don't. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't even do that. I'm experimenting here and you can't. You can't make the infinitive form of regret. It doesn't work. You can't make it negative. No. It is negative anyway. I regret, it's kind of a negative thing, right? I feel bad about it, so you don't want to go double negative on that. It's very interesting.
Josh.
Yeah. Are you okay?
But
So to clarify,
if I regret that I didn't tell you.
again, so you're looking at I with gerund. So when you use a gerund, and you're talking about the past, on that you can go negative. So you can say, I don't regret lending him some money, okay? Or you can say, I do regret. I regret not lending him some money. So on that one, you can stick the negative up front with a helping verb, or you can stick the negative right after regret. And it works. But it doesn't with an infinitive in that sentence. It's a good question. And it's very weird. But that's the way it is. Good question. All right. Did everybody follow what she was asking? She's just talking about the negative. Can I make it negative? You can't do it for H with regret plus the infinitive. Okay, it doesn't make any sense. But with I, you actually have two options to make it negative. You can say, I do not regret lending him some money. Or you can say, I regret not lending him some money. That would work too. You okay?
Teacher, we can
Yeah.
say, I don't regret to tell you. I don't regret to tell you that you failed the test.
No, you can't. But remember the meaning of that. When you use the infinitive, it means, with this word, regret, it means to feel bad about telling someone something.
Yeah.
Right now.
Uh-huh.
See that?
I don't feel sorry.
I don't feel that.
If I
So, it doesn't work. I regret. I do not regret to tell. No, I don't think you can't. I'm trying. You can't. You just can't with that.
How can we know that it works or not?
Just say it. So listen, if you want to do the opposite, say, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy to tell you.
Yeah, but in other sentences. How can we know, like,
Oh, for every single one?
Yeah.
I don't know. You have to go in and you have to go in. I'll tell you what I'll do. If you really want to know, you go try to make negatives out of all of them in the back, and then show it to me, and I'll tell you if it works. That's how crazy it is. But if you want to do the work, I'll check it, and I'll tell you. We just don't have time to go over every single one. Yeah?
Can I say, I regret not,
Not?
not telling
Yeah!
him,
Change it into a gerund. I regret not telling
that's it.
that he failed the test.
Yeah, because he didn't study.
Yeah, but in that situation there, it's not about feeling bad that you have to tell him. It's feeling bad, yeah, that I didn't tell him in the past he failed.
Yeah.
So maybe your buddy failed the level, and he asked you, hey, he didn't want to come in to get his report card, and then he's mad at you later. So you say something like, I regret not telling, my buddy that he failed. You feel bad that you didn't do it in the past. Okay? All right, cool. Look at Jay, and great questions. Jay, yeah.
It is wrong if I say I regret land.
Yeah, it has to be a gerund. I
Because-
regret lending.
Yes, because in my mind is is accustomed to use ing with verb be.
Correct. Right, and that's what makes gerunds weird. I actually call gerunds, infinitives, and participles the three ugly sisters. Because they're supposed to be verbs, right? They're in the verb folder. They're not verbs. They don't act like verbs. Remember, gerunds act like nouns.
It's not verbs.
They're verbals. Listen, have you ever been driving down the street? When I was in high school, I had 3 brothers, and I was riding with my brother in the car, and I saw this beautiful girl on the side of the street. Beautiful long blonde hair. And I said, just drive slow. And honk. And I'll yell, hey! Just being stupid, right? That's what high schooler guys do. So he drove past her. I stuck my head out the window and I went, ah! It was a guy! I said, drive! Keep going! Beautiful long blonde hair, but it was a guy. So, I'm telling you, gerunds, infinitives, and participles, they have verbs inside, but they don't act like verbs. They're not action. Okay? A gerund acts like a noun. That's why you can see them as subjects in a sentence or as objects in a sentence. They're ugly. So no, the reason you see ing on the end of these without a be verb is because they're gerunds. When you see a be verb, ing on the end, now it's actually a participle. It's an active participle. When you see a be verb plus an ed ending, which is the passive, right? Be verb, past participle. It's a past participle. Are you with me? But it's ugly. It's just weird. Participles act like adjectives. Gerunds act like nouns. Infinitives are powerful. She's super ugly. Infinitives can act like nouns, participles, or adjectives. So what do gerunds act like in a sentence? Someone tell me.
No.
A noun. Verb ing, acting like a noun. That's how you know what it is.
Yeah.
What do infinitives act like?
Best.
They can act like an adjective.
Participle.
Be careful. Participles can act like, in a sentence, they can act like adjectives, adverbs, or nouns. Okay?
Oh,
Yeah. So what about a participle? They act like adjectives. I'm going to ask that as a bonus question on a test. Okay? What does a participle act like in a sentence? Adjectives. They're verbs ing or verbs ed. Acting like adjectives. Okay? And they often follow the be verb. Alright, gerunds, what do they act like? They act like nouns. It's a verb ing. Okay? No be verb. What about infinitives? To plus the verb.
Adverb,
Adjective,
noun.
adverb, or noun. They can act like all three. Okay? That's how you know. We're talking about adding infinitives and gerunds onto certain verbs. Okay?
Excuse me.
Yep.
You said verb with ing could be adjective and could be noun. Or
Could be. So
what is
listen.
that?
Here, prove it. Let me prove it. The man is walking. Alright, this right here is actually a present participle. I could also say the walking man is Thomas. Right?
Yeah.
So really, listen, this continuous format, really all you're doing, it's a be verb plus an active participle. And it really is still describing this guy, isn't it? Both ways. So the continuous format with the be verb ing, really what you have here is an active participle. Remember, participles act like
Adjective.
adjectives.
Yeah, and
So now, the gerund, I remember walking to the park with Thomas a year ago. He got very angry with me.
I don't remember, Josh.
It's just an example. So I use it up here. I remember walking to, now it's acting like a noun. Because it's talking about the activity of walking. Okay? In the sentence, it's all about what it's doing. Hassan remembers what? Well, walking, and I'm talking about walking. Yeah. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Does that prove it to you?
yeah, and Charles told me that always the verb with ing describe the thing, and with id describe person.
Just ask what it's doing in the sentence. If it's a verb ing acting like a noun, it's a gerund.
Yeah,
If it's a verb ing after a be verb or before a noun, describing the noun, then guess what? It is a,
adjective.
yeah, acting like, it's acting like an adjective, but it is a, what three ugly sisters is it? Participle.
Yeah,
Participle.
English is.
Yeah. Okay?
Yeah.
So, alright. Hey, look at nothing. We're out of time. Hey, listen. We didn't get to the homework. I want you to practice, okay? So, here's what I want you to do for homework. I want you to try to do exercise A. A, B, A, B, and D. Wait a minute, is that... Okay, B, I see B is actually a listening. Yeah, so listen, do the listening, and it's going to help you practice this. And I like B too, by the way. It says, write a list of suggestions for what someone can do to enjoy life more. Use remember, forget, and stop. All right? So just in your book, write 3 sentences using those words, okay? So do B, and then
Is B not paid? Not paid.
what's that?
B is not paid.
B is notepadding, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No
Notepadding B, okay? And then don't worry about use the grammar. Don't worry, just write the sentences, okay? And then do D. I like D. It says circle the letter of the sentence that has the same meaning as the given sentence, okay? So do D as well. And that's on page 50 and 51, right?
Yes.
All right, cool. Hey, have a nice day. And don't honk at anybody. It's rude.